You can tell a lot about a person from their hands. In Jenny Stewart's case, you can tell she was married. You can tell she's lived a long life. But you wouldn't know that that long life was defined by a love story, and that that love story was shaped by a war.
I remember the announcement over the radio, and somebody had come in to the house too and said war was declared.
Jenny was just 11 years old that day, and for the next 6 years, World War II was the backdrop to her entire world.
They were bad years, yeah. The rationing, the blackout, although we were very fortunate in Scotland. It was England that took the hammering.
Now, there may not have been bombs dropping on Jenny's village, but pretty much everything else changed. And as she began to grow into a young woman, well, Jenny couldn't help but notice all the young men in uniform.
But they used to march through my village every morning, you know, and the first lot of fellas or soldiers over there were Canadians. But that's not where I met mine.
No, that wasn't where she met her Canadian soldier. Walter Stewart was the brother of a friend of a distant relative, and although he was stationed in England, their relationship blossomed quickly.
Especially after Holland was liberated, they knew that they would be going back to Canada. And so he wrote me and asked me if I would marry him. And if I said yes, I was to let him know as soon as possible because he had things to do.
Well, at 17, Jenny had a few things to do as well. But the biggest decision of her life, to marry a Canadian and leave Scotland and her family, just seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah, I knew it would be a big change, but, you know, that's what you do. You either go or you stay, and I didn't want to stay alone. I went on board the Aquitania on my 18th birthday.
The Aquitania carried thousands of war brides to their new home. Young women who, like Jenny, traveled without their new husbands to a country bigger than they could have imagined.
No, we didn't know. We docked in Halifax, and the tremendous days on the train to Saskatoon was unbelievable. I mean, we don't have that in Scotland. That was August. It was very nice until winter came. Yeah. The snow, the amount of snow, and the very cold weather. Yeah, I wasn't used to that in Scotland. But you adjust.
Jenny was one of nearly 45,000 war brides who came to Canada during and immediately after World War II, most of them staying and raising families in their new home. And as hard as it is to imagine the challenges they faced, most of them, like Jenny, still see it as a grand adventure.
Oh, I would never have missed it. No. My husband was a great fella. And I loved Canada from the minute I came. I wouldn't have changed it for the world.
To find out more about this remarkable group of women, visit CanadianWarbrides.com. Or better yet, the next time you meet a lady of a certain age with just the whisper of an accent, ask her to tell you her story. You might just be surprised at what you hear. In Port Alberni, I'm Nancy Wilmot.